hello everybody on Chef AJ's channel. This is Dr. Brooke Goldner from Goodbye Lupus.
Hi everybody, this is Thomas Tadlock, best-selling author of Miracle Metabolism.
And also my husband, and I'm so excited to bring you him today. I talk about Thomas all the time. He's the love of my life. He makes me smile every day. And I thought it'd be an extra great treat to bring him to you live today.
Oh, thanks, babe. Thanks so much for having me in my own house. It's so great to be in my own house. I love it. Anyway, we want to talk about metabolism today, right?
Yes,
so we want to talk
absolutely.
about how to lose fat faster, how to build muscle easier, and how to do it in the healthiest way possible. Is that right?
I want you to tell people all the knowledge in this beautiful mind.
All right.
I teach a lot of it because people are always wondering more about weight. Gaining weight, losing weight. I want more muscle. I want to lose fat.
Sure.
And they get such terrible advice. I always joke around whenever I'm on stage with other plant-based doctors and someone asks a bodybuilding question. I go, you're asking a bunch of skinny doctors?
Right,
you should
right.
talk to my husband. Look at the, I mean, he has to turn sideways to get through some doors, right? So this guy knows about how metabolism works and what it really means. And that's his best-selling book and also his specialty. So I wanted to bring him to you to just talk all about it.
Sure.
Tell them how you came up with this whole idea about metabolism.
Yeah.
Where did it all come from?
Well, I mean, even the book title, Miracle Metabolism. Why is it a miracle metabolism? It's because it's the same dietary strategy that we use that just happened to completely reverse your lupus. So that's a miracle in my book.
Yes.
And on top of that, we'll talk about this later, but I mean, Brooke gained 30 pounds during our pregnancy. And then we had a baby that only weighed like 6.5 pounds. And she lost all of that pregnancy weight in 9 days. And we've got pictures to prove it, where she was able to slip on the same jeans that she was able to wear before we got pregnant 9 days later. I mean, to the point where I was so blown away by this that I had to have her do a full
photo
360 photo shoot. And then I had to show it to all my clients and say, we're doing what we just did, we're going to do to you now. Okay, this is how it's going to work from here on out.
Yeah, some of them still had their baby weight and their kids were in college.
So the majority of my clients were all
Yeah.
about getting rid of that post-pregnancy weight, you know?
Absolutely.
They want to get back to their pre-pregnancy bodies.
And metabolism is I think, an overused and an abused word.
It is.
People often think if you're skinny, you have a fast metabolism. If you're big, you have a slow metabolism. But that's not necessarily true, right?
There's the term fast metabolism, slow metabolism. Usually people think, when they think of fast metabolism, it's like, oh, it's a person who can stay skinny with very little effort. You know what? Part of that's actually true, because if you have a really good metabolism, really fast metabolism, it means that it takes very little effort for you, or less effort for you, to lose body fat. So when you do like fat less exercise, you get results very, very quickly. Person with a slow metabolism or a poor metabolism, they can do all the workouts in the world and they get very little results. And even people that go on a diet and they start cutting the calories back, eating a lot less, and you see that they just don't seem to transform their bodies quite quick enough. That typically points to having a slow or poor metabolism, where people with fast metabolisms, oh, the moment they go on a diet, it's like instantly 8 inches come off of their waist like it was nothing. So that's what kind of most people think of metabolism. But really, even in the fitness world, when people say fast metabolism, slow metabolism, they're really talking about a term that really is called the basal metabolic rate. And that's the number of calories that you burn when you're at rest. That's just, the automatic calories that you get without putting any effort into anything. And what the basal metabolic rate is, that's actually a part of metabolism, but it's not the metabolism. So metabolism, I'm just a really concrete thinker, and I'm like, okay, what's the definition of what does this really mean? When you look up the definition of metabolism, you'll find that it actually is a word or a term that describes the aggregate of all of the activity and the chemical processes and the physical processes that happened within and around your body over a period of a day. That's your metabolism, how well all the cells in your body are doing their job. It's kind of like, say you're the CEO of a company and you want to ask all of your employees, I need a summary of all the work that you did today. Tell me what you did. And they print out this big, huge report. Well, that report, that's the metabolism. What's in that report, that is your metabolism right there.
The productivity.
All summed up. It's your body's productivity report is your metabolism. So how productive your body is, everything that happened. So a slow metabolism means that, the cells in your body aren't working as well as they could. And this includes all the cells involved with fat loss. So that's why people have a slow metabolism. It's I think it's because it's some weird force that's working against them.
Or genetics.
Genetics. But really all it is it's just that you have a lot of different cells in your body that are responsible for creating the hormones that signal the fat cells, that signal the fatty acids, that signal the cooperation of different areas of your body to be able to produce fat loss or build muscle, so on and so forth. And when your cells aren't working as well as they could, then they're just not going to produce the same results. It's just like in a company. If your employees are sick and they're tired and they're undernourished and they're unmotivated, they're just not going to produce as much output as you want, and the profitability of your company goes down. So if you want to talk about profits as being fat loss or muscle gain, yeah, you become less profitable when your employees are sick and therefore your cells are sick, right?
And one of the examples you've said before that I really liked was you were talking about if you were hiring people to grout your tiles, but you didn't give them the right ingredients, so they kind of made their own grout that was subpar. So sometimes our bodies are also working with such bad ingredients that slows them down.
I haven't told them what ingredients that they're going to need for metabolism. Yeah. So here's what it comes down to. So when I went to school, I got a master's degree in exercise science and health promotion, which was great. I was obsessed with the subject matter. And the nutrition that I was taught was that all the nutrition that the body needs comprises water, protein, carbs, and fats. And then within those categories, there's little subcategories. You got different types of fats, different types of protein, you have different types of carbohydrates. There's some differences and nuances, but for the most part, that's it, those 4 ingredients. And if you do that, if you have those ingredients in the correct amounts, what they taught us was how to get the correct, the ideal ratios of fats, proteins, carbohydrates, and a certain amount of water every day. You're good. You're optimal.
Macros. That's what they call it in fitness. You're just counting your macros, right?
This is weird though, because I could put the same macros on 8 different people and then get 8 completely different results, which is weird. Because what happens is macros doesn't tell you exactly what to eat, because there's a lot of different type of proteins you can eat. There's a lot of different carbohydrate sources you can eat. There's a lot of different fats you can eat. And they would all eat a big variety, different forms of those, each of them, and then therefore get completely different results. I didn't know that at the time, but then I discovered there's a reason for that, because carbohydrates, fats, and proteins and water does not make up the whole gamut of everything that your body needs to be as healthy as possible. Those cells in your body, you need a lot more nutrients than just those fats, carbs, and proteins. You need vitamins, you need minerals, you need phytonutrients, you need enzymes. You add that to the mixture in the right quantities, now you're given everything your body wants. And so what we figured out was that the best things that the best food you can put in your body that just gives you the most nutrients, the best bang for the buck so you can get all of your cells to function properly, are whole raw vegetables, omega-3 fatty acids, and believe it or not, we actually don't really even need to pay attention much to the protein, because the protein is actually embedded in every single food virtually that you eat out there. So, and it turns out that what you normally would eat to be full all day is actually enough protein for about 90% of the goals that are out there that people have, especially with weight loss and maintaining their strength and physique and so on and so forth. But anyway, so it's the vitamins, the minerals, and the antioxidants and the enzymes. Those were the things that were missing from the formula that I was given as a student of exercise science. And so it's kind of like your employees. Those are the things that you need to give your employees to make them happy and healthy so they can be more productive. Those are the same things you have to give to your cells so that all of them, especially the ones that are involved with fat loss and muscle building, for them to be as happy and as high functioning as possible so that they can help you lose the most fat. Those are the ingredients that you need to consume in large quantities every single day to achieve that. So then this is what happened. We'll talk about how we discovered this in a second, but when I started putting people on huge amounts of raw vegetables and I made their primary fat source come from omega-3s, where the calories were the same as what they were used to eating before to try to lose weight. Some of them would lose weight, some of them would not. And in some cases, what I had them eat was even more calories, but it was, again, coming from raw vegetables and omega-3 fatty acids. Their fat loss just tanked. They were able to just drop weight like crazy. I mean, they were getting more definition. They were seeing inches come off of their waist faster than they ever had in their life. And it was happening within periods of several weeks without any changes in exercise. Of course, everybody was exercising to help take this weight off of their body, but it was just flying off the moment we started just making everybody eat the same plan. High raw vegetable intake, high omega-3 intake, and then of course keep water high. And then protein was pretty much more or less negligible because there was a great amount of it already in the foods that they were eating.
Well, originally, before you worked with me, you weren't sure yet about if people needed protein, so you were still having them do like free range protein, stuff like that, like they do on paleo, and they still had all those results.
Yep.
But then with me, I was already a vegetarian. So you took me off of I ate so much cheese and eggs every day. So you made me stop that for the saturated fat. You said it would slow down weight loss, but I wasn't going to eat the meat. So I was your first vegan, plant-based student, as it was.
Brooke wanted to get ripped for our wedding. Yep. And I said, okay, I can help you do that. No problem. And I was going to just put her on my standard get ripped quick diet and work her out 9 hours a week. And so she did the workouts, but the nutrition I had to adjust, because what I usually did for people to help them get really ripped was huge raw vegetables, high omega-3s, but the protein, I was having them eat lots and lots of lean meats. So we couldn't do that because she was a vegetarian. So all I did was I swapped out the meat for like protein sources like tofu, edamame, and luckily that worked out just fine. She was able to, in like 90 days, you went from
size 11 to a size 3.
That's insane, right?
Yeah, I was ripped. And the other thing that was more phenomenal was, so I dropped all the weight that I wanted, and I dropped all the dress sizes, and I also dropped the lupus.
Yes.
So at the time, I'd been sick for 12 years. I'd gone through kidney failure, chemotherapy, mini strokes. I was injecting myself still with blood thinners every day. I'd never once had negative labs ever in 12 years. And suddenly, 3 months after doing this program, I had negative labs for lupus. And you know what? This month, or September, it's going to be 18 years that I've had negative labs and never had a relapse.
18 years.
So when you talk about fate, like his research and obsession with nutrition and optimizing metabolism for fat loss and muscle building, and my health history, we came together, and this saved our lives. Well, I say our lives. It saved my life, but it saved our life that we can live together.
You told me that the doctor said that you would live till like maybe your late 30s. So I'd always calculated
that I'd at least be disabled by my 40s.
It's 10 years. I got 10 years with you. So it's 8 years longer than I thought that I was not going to be with you anymore, that you were not going to be here anymore. And
we were told we could never have children, that it would kill me if I tried, between the kidney failure and the strokes. And Solomon being born was really that pivotal moment when we understood the connection between my metabolism and my health.
And at the moment of this video, we have a kid who's 14 years old, and we have another kid who's
my Alex is 10
years old. So that means even our children has outlived the prediction of your lifespan that your doctors gave you.
Yep. And this is why we released our protocol to the public for free. I always say you have to save your life, and he always says you have to save
your wife.
But I think that I had started out by asking you, what about a skinny person? Can they have a slow metabolism? When I was diagnosed with lupus, I was skinny, but my cells were not doing their jobs very well, were they? So even though my parents had a pizza place and I still was skinny, I was told I had a fast metabolism, but my kidneys were failing.
Yeah.
So it is possible. We have a lot of clients that come to us too now that say, I can't eat all those raw vegetables because my metabolism's too fast because I'm skinny. And we have to tell them, no, your metabolism's slow because you're sick. And actually someone in our group right now has increased weight from the 80s into the low 90s, right? That it's really, your weight is just one aspect of metabolism, really, right?
It is.
It's not the whole thing.
Like I said, so metabolism is a term that describes the aggregate of everything that's going on in your body, every single interaction that takes place. That's metabolism. So when you look at it, metabolism is also related to your health, because the better the functioning of your cells, the better the health of the cells. And you are the sum of all of your cells, really. When you look at your physical health in your body, you are the aggregate of all of that. So therefore, metabolism really means health. And so the healthier you are, not just what the lab results show every single day, because you can have someone that says that they have healthy labs and then another person has healthy labs and they will look like two completely different people. You can have people that are borderline disabled and have okay labs, and people that are extremely fit and happy with the same type of labs. So it's not telling you the whole story. Real health involves every single process in your body. All of it operating at maximum is what we're trying to achieve with a fast metabolism. And so that's why muscle building is also a part of this, because if you're unable to build muscle, even though you're doing everything you're supposed to build muscle, well, there's something wrong there. Yeah. That means that there's some cells that are just not doing their job to the greatest degree possible. So what we want to do is fix that. And the way you fix that with a cell is actually quite simple. This is the best part about it, is that the way you help a cell become a better, happier, healthier cell is you just simply give it the nutrition that it's missing. Because the only reason that a cell is not so happy in the first place is most of the time it's just because it's lacking a certain ingredient.
And that's one of the problems too with weight loss, is that when people aren't getting results, they restrict and they restrict and they restrict, and then they're at 800 calories a day and they can't lose weight. And it's because they're so malnourished now that their cells just
That's exactly
gave up.
Right.
Yeah, so we have people eat more. And listen, we could have you do this for hours, but I think this was a good introduction. And there's so much more to it, because one of the things that's in your book, Miracle Metabolism, that's also missing a lot from people's idea and understanding about weight, is you do need to have the right exercises with the right diet for weight gain and for muscle and for muscle gain and for fat loss. And I love the way you've always put that together, that these exercises with this diet, fat loss, these exercises with this diet, muscle gain. Mm-hmm. And so there's just, I mean, it's really incredible. I love the book and I love everything that you teach. Maybe you can tell people where to get it, and maybe we can come on again and talk more specifically about like muscle.
Well, you know what
I
would love to do is just, I want to be able to give you and share with you what you can do today to instantly start raising your metabolism. And then of course, all the specifics and more details and things like that in the book.
And free resources, we can give them free
resources. But let me tell you right now, so you don't even have to go, you don't have to buy a book, you don't have to do anything, and get some good information that you can apply right away to start raising your metabolism, and then you can see for yourself. Okay, so let's talk about the important fundamental ingredients for raising anybody's metabolism. Number one, we have to get water. And the water that we want to have it's got to be at least 96 ounces or more. What we found is just universally, and this is just purely through observation and results of thousands of people, 96 ounces just seems to be a magic number. I've seen formulas that are based on your body weight and how much you work out and so on and so forth. Yes, the more activity you get, the more water you're going to need. But if you start with 96 ounces as a baseline and you never dip underneath that, you're going to instantly feel a lot better if you haven't been doing that up till now. Being hydrated is one of the greatest feelings if you've been spending most of your life dehydrated. Yes. And you will feel the difference right away. Everything will work better. The second thing are the type of foods that you're going to eat, and that is raw vegetables. Now, I'm not saying stop eating everything else. What I'm saying is get enough raw vegetables, because raw vegetables, especially the cruciferous family of vegetables like broccoli, kale, cabbage, the vegetables that are literally in direct contact with the soil, they are the most packed with vitamins, nutrients, minerals, living enzymes, phytonutrients, more than any other category of food that's out there. You want to consume as much of that as you possibly can every single day. Our typical client that sees us consumes up to 24 ounces of solid raw vegetables every single day, so that they're getting that massive influx of every material that every cell in their body needs every single day. Plus, on top of that, you're getting all this good fiber. You're going to have some of the best BMs you have ever seen in your life, especially with all of that water. And when you add this last component, which are the omega-3s. Omega-3s. These are the fats that are your best friends. I have done tests with omega-3s to the point where I've put people who are on a fat loss program, my fat loss program, I have put people on doses of over 1,000 calories a day. I think my maximum was 1,200. And the only reason they didn't do more, I mean, they're consuming
of pure omega-3.
Pure omega-3
in addition
oil.
To all their other food. Yeah.
I mean, they're just chugging this down by the bottle. And the only reason they didn't do more than 1,200 calories is just the physically, they just couldn't fit anymore in their bodies. But what was absolutely mind-blowing, I knew this theoretically, but just to see it actually in person over the course of 28 days at a time, which was how long I would do these experiments for, people would lose fat faster the more omega-3s they ingest it. So they're drinking a ton of water. They're eating ridiculous pounds and pounds of these high nutrient vegetables, and then they're guzzling down omega-3s, and they are losing fat like mad. And what was even more fascinating was that I had another group of people that I did an experiment on. I also did it in my group called Smoothie Shred, totally free. Completely free resource. Go to smoothieshred.com. We also have a big Facebook community where people are helping each other for free. We're helping people and giving them advice for free. And what they're doing is they're working out every day, and they're eating huge amounts of raw vegetables. They're drinking the water, they're having the omega-3s, but then there's a whole subset of them that are eating whatever else they want. Whatever else they want. Imagine this for a second. And those people are losing fat, and they're getting healthier, and they're feeling a lot better.
Blood pressure's coming down, energy's going up. Adding what you're missing has been key. And it totally blows away this idea that anytime you eat fat, it stores body fat, that some fats actually accelerate metabolism and health, and not the opposite.
I'm just going to say, if there's a theory out there, I should be able to reproduce that. And I tried. I really tried. With the omega-3 thing, I started just loading people up with fat. I could not keep fat on their body. That was the crazy part.
And we've also seen it work for health. That high omega-3, people get healthier and healthier. So it's one of the exceptions to the rule of fats being unhealthy, that there are certain fats that are essential to health.
And so the last ingredient, like I just actually kind of was talking about, is movement. Your body needs to move.
Yes.
It's amazing how well your body adapts to whatever you do to it. So that means if you lay down all the time, your body adapts to laying down. It wants to stay down. When you move, when you put resistance against your body, whether it's with weights or if you're doing some body weight exercise or just going out for a hike, it's so good for your body because getting your muscles to actually contract and your joints to move lubricates all of your joints, but it also it signals the release of hormones in your body that can actually reverse aging, protect your heart, increase your lifespan, and increase your energy overall.
It also is the only thing that increases brain size, exercise.
Exercise increases brain size.
It's the only thing that's been shown to increase brain size. So for those nerds out there, when
you combine exercise with the right materials for the brain, like omega-3s, it's the primary, the most abundant omega fatty acid that is in the brain. When you could add those two things together, I mean, we're going to have some Einsteins here.
It increases IQ in pregnant women and their babies, and it improves mood.
That's why our kids are 10 times smarter than both of us now, right?
All the omega-3s they've had from birth.
Telling you.
So as I said, we could do this forever, but I wanted to at least introduce everyone to you. As you can see, he is brilliant. He is adorable, and he's my best friend and my savior. And we do everything together. We take care of people together in our 6-week rapid recovery group. We raise our kids together. We're partners in everything. Mm-hmm. But you only usually see me. He's mostly behind the scenes, but I want him front and center. And we'll do this more. We can talk more about muscle building, fat loss, all that kind of stuff. But I thought it'd be really cool to be able to meet you and to learn a bit about metabolism. His book's Miracle Metabolism. You can get it on Amazon, right?
Get it on Amazon.
And then the free resources, smoothieshred.com. There's free recipes, more videos from this guy about fitness and metabolism and all those things. And I'll make sure to bring them back too. So I hope you enjoyed him and loved him as much as I do.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for doing this
in my house.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for taking the time and letting me drag you in front of the camera. So, all right. Well, we'll see you next time. Okay.
Thank you.